Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the weekly trade report video for the week of June 18th, 2017. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there and expecting fathers. So let's take a look at the Dow Jones ETF, the DIA. We can see that the market still in a solid uptrend. It broke out through this range that was set back when in March, where Trump gave a speech to Congress, and then we've since broken that, and we're continuing to grind higher. So the market still remains resilient despite all the negative news in the press and Trump investigations and all that stuff. The market seems to be holding up pretty well. So still looking good. SPY, similar story, had the breakout through that range from 232 to 240, and we broke that, grinded up, and now we just kind of went brief pullback there, and just still looks pretty resilient, well above the 50-day moving average. So the market still remains strong. IWM still hasn't broken out like the other two, but we can see, got rejected up there at 140, 142 area, kind of pulled back. But if we look at kind of a shorter time frame, we can see this kind of stair-stepping higher, which is very conductive. So you can see here it's pulled up, pulled back, put in a higher low, put in a higher high, higher low, stair-stepping higher. So it still looks good in the IWM. So there we go. Indexes still look good to me. IBB still range bound, nothing nothing to see there, just kind of still in this 288 to 310 range. So range bound at this point, nothing there. Financials, I did try to trade the financial sector ETF last week, and it basically got out of it for break even, but this still looks good to me. You can see where you had this resistance at 24, this range, right, and then it broke out of that range through 24 and then kind of ran up, and now it's kind of putting in a pullback. So this looks like kind of a normal reaction after a big 3-day run. So it's going to, what it looks like it's going to do is pull back and then break out through the high right here. So what is that, 24.50, somewhere in there. And that's what I thought it was going to do when I entered a trade last week, but it didn't do it. So I'll still continue watching this ETF. I mean, if you look at some of the individual banking names, the regional banks, there's a lot of good setups. We'll go through a couple of them, but that are breaking out. And so this is just another way you could kind of trade that. You could trade the ETF with individual names. You do get leverage pretty good on this ETF. I think it's like 4-to-1 margin you can use. So you may not get as big of a move, but you can margin it, and if you're right, you can do pretty good. So sometimes I'll use some margin on these ETFs that allow it. So anyway, I still like this. I think it looks like it's going to put in a breakout, kind of brief pullback, and then rally up to new highs. What it looks like it's going to do. So I really like this financial sector right now. Home builders, kind of a similar story. You can see here was this range, right, and then it started, and then it broke out, and then it pulled back. So the home builders had some, I guess you could say, negative news on Friday with the housing report coming out, and it was lower than expected. So a lot of them, the home builders, took a little bit of a dip, but to be honest, it didn't hold up. I mean, they actually recovered quite nicely by the end of the day. So if you take a look at this chart, you had this big run up and then a 3-day pullback, but you can see where they recovered most of their losses during the day, including Lennar and some of the other home builders. So I still think the home builders look like they're going to go higher. I still really like Lennar, and I still hold a swing position in it. It looks like a breakout pullback is what it looks like. So we'll see if that can hold up in these home builders. Lennar does have earnings on Tuesday, so I'll probably reduce my position to maybe a third and hold through earnings if the chart stays constructive and still looks good, which it appears that the 53 spot on Lennar is a key support. But anyway, the home builders, I still like those, and so we'll continue watching those. XLE, energy sector. So we can see on the energy sector has been beaten up pretty bad. You go back, you see this. This was back in in late December of 2016 where it topped out, and then it just kind of been downhill since then, right? So it's 6 months of downtrend in the energy sector. And I will say there's a couple of names, some of the bigger like ExxonMobil and Phillips 66. We'll take a look at those charts, but they actually look like they're bottoming out and turning up. And then this XLE kind of looks, maybe this is the first higher low. I'd want to see it break through this 67.50 area. That would give you more confirmation, get it back above the 50-day for kind of a trend reversal here, a bottoming of the energy names. But just real quick, take a look at XOM. So you can see XOM further back, kind of this resistance spot right in here, right, 83-ish. So this one looks like it's, I think it actually closed, at the high of this on this day. So it looks like it actually broke through this 83 spot and closed above that. And so this one actually looks good, this XOM, and then PSX. Another one, you can see this clear resistance, kind of a bottoming pattern, sideways. And then on Friday, if you take a look at the last several days of action, this big run up, and then put in a higher low right around 78.50, and it rallied and broke through the 80 spot and close at 80.90. So this looks like it's bottoming, a bottom reversal pattern. Looks like these energy names could be starting to turn up a little bit. Still early, but at least these couple of these still look like they're starting to turn up, starting a new uptrend. SN, here's another one. Take a look at this. You can kind of draw a line, see that right there, across the peaks of this downtrend. And we broke through that downtrend line, and we're testing a breakout above the 50-day. So just something I'm noticing, the energy names look like they could be bottoming and turning up. So we'll have to keep an eye on this, like they're still a bit early. All right, so let's talk about, so last week, I've been telling you guys that I'm swing trading more, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm not posting as many setups, or I'm not tweeting as much. But on top of that is I'm in the process of moving, so there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm just, I'm always doing something or have something to take care of, and so that's why I just haven't been as active on social media. So should be moving at the end of this month, and so it's going to be hectic for the next, few weeks getting everything done and completed. But I'll continue doing the nightly watch list and talking about what I'm doing. But the swing trading has really been huge on my trading. I'm now up, kind of 140% this year. And earlier this year, if you take a look at the equity curve, got beat up pretty good trying to day trade. So it's just something you got to realize for yourself. What are you good at? What are you not good at? And swing trading, it just, to me, it helps eliminate the emotions and focus on the bigger moves. And that's where it really helps me to do better, and not to get so caught up in the minor moves. But so let's take a look at Lennar. You can see a couple key areas. See this trend line support, looks like it's holding, and you can see that this area right around 52.80 to 53 was a key resistance, and then it broke that. So this is where I swing traded this one. I took profits up here at 44.50, and then I dip bought just above 53, like 53.10, on this pullback to this key support. So this is a breakout pullback setup that looks like it's going to hold. And if we take a look at kind of a shorter time frame, let's go in, look at a multi-day, let's say the 20-day, right? So here's a 20-day, 30-minute chart, and if you take a look at this, you can see right there at that 52.80 was a key resistance, and then we broke that, and then it pulled back, bounced off that level, and then it broke through it, and then now it actually closed back above that 52.80, right around 53, which is what it looked like it was going to do. So at this point, what I'm reading from this is that the 53 spot, there was a lot of stops there at this 53 or 52.80. So then the market just slams below that, cleans out all those stops, and then rallies back above the 50, back to 53. So this key level is still holding based on the closing price, and that's why it's key to kind of focus in my opinion, the closing price versus the intraday action. And so this one closed at near 53, which is what it looked like. And so I'm looking for this thing to hold right in this area, and then head back up, and we'll see if that plays out that way. So this is what I'm expecting with Lennar, and I still have a position. We'll take some off. Monday, and I'll hold some probably through earnings that coming out Tuesday morning. Okay, let's go to AAON. Kind of walk through some of the other names. So this one, yeah, this one, a building material sector stock. Once again, the theme of the home builders and the building material sector still looks strong. This one didn't break and hold, still looks pretty good, but just not as clean as I'd like it to be. So this one, keep watching it, but I don't see anything at this point on that one. PVTB, just another bank, so a regional bank. See this kind of this level right here, right in this kind of 60-20 area was resistance. Broke that, pulled back, and then closed right at the high at 60.85 there. So this is just another example of a bank that looks like it's getting ready to continue an uptrend. INNL. This one, been watching this one for a while. Still setting up. You know, continue to kind of monitor this one. It looks like it's ready to go and can take off any day. So this is one of those ones that could really start spiking big. You know, if you're not watching it closely, you can miss it. So just one, if you know, to keep on your radar. I think it's going to shoot up here to 240, and then you know potentially break that in the near term. You know, in the next couple weeks, you can see the 50 days catching up right there. It's near the 50-day, and it's been basing sideways here for quite a while. So I expect this one to make a move in the near future. So keep an eye on that one. ESIO, this was one that was on the watch list that just didn't break. Resistance at 9. And so this is kind of what I was looking at, kind of an ascending triangle, and it broke that. So no go there. Failed pattern. CPRX, another good looking bio. Broke through this 2 a while back. Grinding higher, and then now it looks like it's got some resistance at 240. So 240 area would be a spot to watch on this CPRX for a breakout. OMER, how pretty was this thing? This was on the watch list last week, and unfortunately I didn't trade this, but man, what a huge breakout this one had. 16 17 area looks like, you know, very clean level right there at 17. You know, tapped it. You can consider this maybe once, twice, 3, 4, and then finally big volume break, and just 5 really big up days in a row. Just a huge win. Even if you caught some of that, you know, congrats to you. This was just a beautiful breakout. Looks extended now though, so probably on the radar of a lot of short sellers at this point. But so anyway, you know, the first target would have been the depth of this pattern. So you'd use like say 1450 to 17. So it'd be 1556. So 250 would be a target. So it'd give you 1950. So that would have been like right in here, and you can see just continued higher. So you know, it's pretty simple once you understand what to look for on the charts. You know, you're just looking for the same things over and over again, and then you know, they always come back, and new setups always appear, and it's just rinse and repeat. MAS, another nice bull flag right there. Building material sector. Breakout sideways, flagging action, then broke out through 37.70-ish, and then just continues grinding higher. Still looks higher to me. KGJI, a gold name, kind of choppy, but had a clear spot right here at 185. You can see flag pattern, and then broke on this day on good volume, and since then kind of pulled back, tested that, but still holding above that level. So this one looks higher. You know, NK, another great breakout. And basically an ascending triangle pattern. So I had the big run up, pullback, higher lows, tighter range, converging on that 450 spot. Here's your trend line, and then you had the break on volume, and you know, This one, just like OMER, just a huge multi-day runner. So congrats if you caught any piece of that. That was a nice one. Looks extended now though, so wouldn't be looking to enter that one on the long side at this point. Okay, RCM, clean break at 4. Nice break, had a couple days of run, and looks like it's pulled back to this 4. We'll see if that holds as a support and can bounce off that 4 spot. Still a good looking chart though, RCM. CCCR, clean spot at 3, finally broke it, and still at this point is holding above 3. This one looks like it's flagging for a higher move. I think this one, as long as it holds 3, I could see this one having another leg, another spike higher. It's a Chinese banking stock, and the banking stocks are pretty strong right now, so this one's subject to really, multi-day moves up and then quick fall, so keep that in mind. If you get a big spike, I wouldn't swing trade it too long, but take some profits on it. SUM, another building material sector stock. Looks like it's just putting in a basing period. Resistance up here at 28.66. So we'll see if this one can pull back, put in a higher low, and then rally back towards that breakout. But this one does look like it's going to go higher. SUM. Okay, this one probably the best looking setup for Monday. WKHS, clean spot at 4. Ramped up, pulled back, tested it again, and then finally on good volume Friday broke through that 4 spot. See that volume, very high. So this is one that I day traded it. I didn't swing it, but I took, made like I bought it on 4 and sold it like 405. So it was a quick trade, but we'll continue to monitor this one and see how it acts. If this one can break, can hold above that 4, I could see it spiking up to maybe 450, and using, I'd say, the depth of this pattern right in here. Yeah, you could use this right here. Let's say 350, to 4, so it's 50 cents. I'd say 450 first target, and then maybe even higher. But that one does look good. WKHS looks fantastic. Okay, KB Home, just another example. See this long uptrend here. And despite the negative housing news on Friday, this one opened lower and closed, towards the high of the day. So still some, nice relative strength in these home builders. BLD, another building material sector stock, well above the 50-day, and I'd watch this spot up here, right on 54 and then 54. And you can see it tested it, pulled back, tested it higher low, and then maybe even putting in a higher low here. So I'd watch for this one. It looks like it's going higher. BLD. FAF, just another bank. You can see making new highs out of this kind of ascending triangle pattern right there. So once again, a lot of the banks, individual banks, regional banks look good. Here's another bank. Broke out through 690, which was a recent high on Friday. Nice almost 4% move on that one. So you can see, looking at all the individual names, you can kind of focus in on whichever sectors showing the best setups, and the banks are definitely there. Caterpillar, nice breakthrough 106. Tested it there, tested it, and finally broke on Friday. That one looks higher. Alright, HSTM, this is probably the best looking setup, in addition to the other, what was it on, WKHS. This one looks great. Big run up, nice spot here. I'd look for this one to break out through 30, and then look for a target of, say, 32. I'd use an average base depth of, say, 28 to 30. So 2 points I'd look for on this one. This one looks fantastic. Just a great looking setup. HSTM on the 30 break. Alright, GREK is the Greece ETF. Once again, run up, consolidation, and then it looks like it's just breaking out of a bull flag through 980 area. So not a huge mover. Some good volume on Friday though. Look at that volume, 3 million. So let's take a look back. 2-year chart. You can see Greece has been pretty beaten down over all the debt issues and stuff. Taking a look at. Let's see. Yeah, I guess a 5-year you can see. Back. It's up here at 25, got beat down, and now it looks like it's starting its recovery. So, GREK could be a longer-term investment. Really like the way that pattern is developing there on the Greek ETF. Okay, CBAY, another fantastic looking setup. Closed right near 5. Here's the spot here at 420. You can see where that one broke through 420, had a big run up, pulled back and held, kind of a breakout pullback, held that 420 spot, and then rallied back up. So it's about to break out through the recent highs. We're right around 5, and I would use as a target, I would use 420 to 5, so I'd use 80 cents, so 580 to 6 would be a good target on this one. Fantastic looking setup though, CBAY, another top setup for Monday. Plug, just had a big gap, put it in, it pulled back to 50-day, bottomed out, and so now it looks like it's beginning its stair step higher, back above the 50-day, and I would expect this one to go back up to 240 and then maybe even 260 over the next couple weeks. So I really like this. Look at this plug. ADSW, just a waste management company, and just a clean spot at 24. Tested it here twice, 3, 4, and then now it's back, approaching the 24 spot. So it'll be a nice one to trade on a 24 break. USCR, this is another general building material name. But take a look at this spot, clean spot right there, 71.70, 71.80, somewhere in there. But you can see that would be a multi-year high on that breakout, and break this recent high and then this recent high right in there. So once again, building material, home builders still look good. This one's just another good looking name in the sector. Alright guys, that's all I got for today. Market still looks good. Once again, there's lots of good setups for Monday. HSTM, CBAY, Lennar, and some of the other ones that we talked about, the banks. And so you guys have a great Father's Day, and we'll see what the market brings tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks.